Right, so here we are. We're going to talk about self-marketing this afternoon. And as I was just saying, there's a part one to this on the, yes, now I can see people's comments, yay. Hi, Marie. So part one of the self-marketing is on YouTube. So if you missed that, jump in and have a look in the Buzz Career Counselling YouTube channel. And that's talking about setting up the self-marketing, so doing the understanding yourself and what you've got to offer. You're the product in the sales pitch, and so understanding who you are and what you've got to offer is certainly has to be done before you even start to door knock or self-market. And then secondly was to sort of look at which organizations are out there that you'd want to actually door knock to, and you know, what they've got to offer. So not just, you know, if you're looking at doing hairdressing and find a hairdresser and just rock up, actually have a look at what that company offers, what that business offers, the services, and maybe sort of work out where your niche is. You know, do you match what they're offering? Yay, there's going to be another team member. Or do you perhaps offer what they're not offering? So you know, there might be a gap in their service that they just don't have anyone to, you know, with those skills, and you do. So that's a nice little one to go in with as well. So once you understand who you are and who they are, then we're going to actually look at today the next part, which is, okay, how do I get in there? So this next part, which is the part that everyone finds a little bit daunting, and I'm just going to go through a few steps. So this is actually turning up to a place. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but today I'm just going to talk about the one that you're sort of, I'll call it door knocking. So first of all is that sort of, and I'm just looking at my notes here, sorry, I'm looking away. The first of all is that spiel, understanding, you know, you haven't got a long time, you know, it's just a little quick spiel that you want to say to someone that potentially could, you know, employ people. So it's got to be very quick, elevator pitch as people call it. I call it the spiel, and sort of narrowing that down quite, define it. You want to sort of hit things. So one little part I've just got here, something like I'm an or a, and sort of describe. So for my example, I'm an enthusiastic. It might be, you know, I'm an approachable social worker, or I'm a caring or generous social worker, or I am a, you know, proactive business development manager. You know, sort of describe rather than just I'm a trainer. That's not as exciting as I'm an enthusiastic trainer, you know, who likes to get people over the line. So I'm an enthusiastic trainer, so I'm a descriptive of what? Trainer, hairdresser, plumber, whatever you might be, business development manager, tech support person, with, can you say how many years experience you might have? Or with an in-depth knowledge, or, you know, I've got 20 years experience in education, specializing in, this is where you kind of get to do your niche bit, okay? Specializing in, my example here, working with youth facing challenges and difficult situations. So I've sort of said I'm enthusiastic, I'm a trainer, and I, you know, could do lots of things, but I specialize in working with youth who have issues. All right, could add to that, I help teenagers find career direction. So it's very clear what I'm doing, who I'm about. That's it. It's really just one long sentence, maybe two short sentences. So I'm a description, sort of title, I guess, with how many years experience, specializing in, and then maybe just sort of a statement. I help elderly people enter the world of retirement. I can't think of any examples today. I'm an IT person who solves things quickly, solves problems quickly, you know, gets systems functioning. Whatever it might be, you sort of just plant that seed. That's it. Just one long sentence. Now, practice that and practice that and practice that. And in front of the mirror, say it again and again and again, or video and watch it back. You can see, you know, the hand movements. So watch it back and, you know, and just have it so it just kind of rolls off your tongue. It's like if you had a job answering the phone, you know, after the first month, it's just blah, 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 just comes out of your mouth. So practice and practice and practice so it just comes naturally, not that you're having to remember what it is. Okay, so once you've sort of got that initial spiel, you can then turn it into conversation. So I'll go back a step there. So first thing you have to do is line it up. Okay, who am I going, in the video before you looked at who you actually would like to door knock to. So lining it up could be walking in and saying, hi, my name's Mira, and I'm wondering if I would be able to take a moment to speak with someone who's in recruitment, or, you know, potentially like a specific area. For me, it might be who's, you know, in the training department of an organisation. Depending how big the company is, it could just be the boss. So you line it up with that person at the front door. Now, you may get resistance. I'm sorry, he's or she is very busy at the moment in a meeting. I don't know how many times I've heard that. So we'll look at that second, but assuming they're going to actually let you in and speak to someone, then we've got to look at, and that could be done by phone if you really need to. You could sort of line up an appointment to speak with someone, but it's probably best just to walk in, and you might have to come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock or something, or you might be able to get in straight away. So you could do it by phone or to actually walk in, but I'd probably suggest not email these days. People get hundreds of emails, and it's not as scary, I get that, but it's probably not as powerful either. So door knock, actually walk in, hi to that person at the front, or make a phone call and line it up. Okay, so assuming they've gone, sure, you can speak to the boss, or you can speak to HR, or whoever it might be in a particular department that you're wanting to work in, then we start that spiel. Hi, my name's Mira. And you can say I'm an enthusiastic teacher who, you know, with 20 years experience working in education, and I specialise in working with youth. I noticed, this is when you can start linking it, I noticed that your company, you know, the clientele is particularly youth. And then you can start sort of talking, connecting to their business. Now, when you're connecting to their business, it's really important to sort of show them where you're going to fit in. And this is the research you've done previously. Show them where you're going to fit into that company. So I noticed that your company, you know, the majority of your clientele is youth. You know, that's the area that I specialize in. Now, there's two ways to go about it. You can either say, you know, I have also delivered the same programs that you've delivered, or, you know, I have also worked in the same sort of space that they're offering. Or you could find a gap and say, I've noticed that you're off, this is my example, I've noticed that you're offering you know, lots of certificate 3s in retail and warehousing and things like that for youth. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in someone who's actually going to be able to sort of get them into that workplace and take them into that next step, so that you know, your youth are succeeding in implementing those courses. So you can see how I'm either going to be working with the youth, that they are the same thing that the company's doing, and, you know, be another team member, or I'm going to plant a seed of what I really want to do, which is helping people get into the work. That's my thing, that's what I do, and we can attach it to the courses that you've already got going. So it's almost like you're sort of creating this little mini business meeting with recruitment or the boss, and kind of going, okay, I'm bringing my skill set to your workplace. This is how I can see myself fitting into your team. What do you think? Does that kind of make sense? Let me know if it's making sense to you so far. Because people, instead of just going, oh, hi, I'm a trainer, and then leaving it all up to them to kind of think, oh, okay, how do you fit into my workplace? You've got to do that work for them and sort of say, this is what I've got, this is who you are, this is how we meet together. Makes sense? Good. Okay, great. So it really pays to do your to do your homework and understand that particular organization. So once you sort of have kind of said, I can see in your workplace or in your company that, your mission statement, is about productivity, and I've been able to get results in my last workplace, increasing that productivity by 35% or something like that, that you're sort of going, this is what you do, this is what I do. It's it's a perfect match. You're trying to sort of connect the two, and then it sort of will go into the offices are sometimes 3 hours away. What does that mean? Can you explain that a little bit more? The place that you're thinking of door knocking is 3 hours away. Is that what you mean? Let's get an answer on that before I go forward. If that's the case, if it's the case that you're saying that you're somewhere and where you want to work is completely different, you can either, I think that's what you want to say. I think you can either, yeah, okay. Okay, so the main office. So if there's an office that is close by, you might be able to sort of plant the seed there, even though they're not in charge of, hiring and firing, if that's what you mean. And then potentially sort of, you can maybe just do the phone call then and sort of line up rather than having to go in. Be pretty impressive if you went in, if you had time. But if not, if it's 3 hours away, then just to sort of make that call and say, and do the exact same thing. Wondering if I can speak to someone in recruitment or, someone in that particular field. I'm interested in having a discussion with them about, what you might be able to bring to the organisation. Is that sort of what you mean? I think so. You can be able to offer it, but just do it by phone. If you can create connections, if there's something that you say the main office, if there's an office that is close by, I'd certainly create connections and say I went in and I spoke to Sally. The more names you can kind of drop, check your LinkedIn, check your Facebook, see if anyone works there. Okay, yeah. So if locally there's not really an office and it's sort of remote working, then definitely, hang on, I can't. Oh, now I'm clicking on my computer. Definitely make connection. Yeah, it could look. Okay. So I think you're thinking when you say send by post, I think you're thinking the resume. So we get to that as well. But certainly do the phone call. It just shows initiative. It sort of stands out. I think these days, someone just said, oh, I missed your email with a discount on it. I wish I'd seen it. So we just get so many emails and things like that it's just overload. And I think it's nice to start talking to people again. So I'll come back to that with the resume and letter. So you're sort of having those conversations, then it will be backwards and forwards. Let them talk as well. It's not just you and your spiel. And sort of really listen to see where you can sort of drop in more, how you can add value. Keep in mind, they're not particularly interested in you and your career. What they're interested in is their business and how you can add to that business. So constantly keep that in mind. If I was in their shoes, what would they be wanting? If I, what sort of person would they be wanting? What would they be wanting me to say if to sort of, bring them across to thinking, oh, this person's, we want them in our business. So, keep in mind you're just constantly trying to talk about how you add value. What can I do for you? That's what you're trying to do. I can bring you this. I can bring you these skills. I can bring you this knowledge. I can improve customer experience. I can increase sales. I can improve, productivity and efficiency. I can bring bring to your organization a harmony in the workplace and workplace culture. Whatever is your thing, this is what I'm going to bring when I come to work with you. Because then it's like, oh, I want that. Okay. So once you've had that sort of conversation backwards and forwards, and trying to sort of fill those gaps and listen really carefully to what they're saying, then make sure that you get a contact details. Even if you only get as far as the first desk, the admin desk, which often is where it happens. See if you can get a contact or a card. There might be a card with an email address on the counter. See if you can get some sort of name. Who is it? Sorry, what was the name of the person who's in charge of recruiting? Because when you start mentioning names in your emails and things like that, it sounds so much better. I believe that it's, Bob who I need to speak to about blah, blah, blah. So they think, oh, you're already kind of past the gate. So get contact names, contact details, anything you can get while you're in there. I remember when I was doing this it was a teaching job, which is not really the way you do it, but I was told I had to do it that way. And I would, make sure I walked out, with contacts, a name and a number, or a name and an email. Something just to go in before you prep, understanding yourself, is to just sort of maybe have like, a couple of skills that you might mention in that conversation backwards and forwards. A couple of your hows. I'm approachable, I'm friendly, I'm caring, whatever your how might be. I'm productive, I'm efficient, I'm, all about systems, I'm tech savvy, whatever your thing might be. Try and sort of drop those in your conversation. And maybe just have, one work story that you'd like to definitely share. So you sort of just have them in the forefront. So during conversation, you can think, oh, I'm going to share that conversation. How long have I worked in the job agencies? Is that to me, Marie? I haven't. I haven't worked in a job agency. I've just been in career counselling, career development, employment services, briefly, 2 years in a job agency as a job club, but volunteering, if that's your questions. Okay, and I just wanted to, it's something before you go, if you don't mind, I might just check back in a week and see, once you sort of had a thought about it, and just see, if there's a possibility for something for me. So kind of, what I'll do is I'll email through. Do you have an email address? I'll email through my resume for you, just so you've got it on file. So you're kind of doing that follow-up. You're going to hear from me again, you're going to see me again, you're going to read an email from me or something like that. So it's not just that session and then walk out. Okay, so some sort of follow-up. If you don't mind, I'd love to send you my email. Just so you've got an electronic copy. You can have a copy with you, but here's then you get the card, then you get the contact, then you get the email, then you've got the connection, then you're like, hi, and you can check in 3 months if nothing happens. Hi again. So it's all about sort of developing those connections. Okay, I keep saying that. Yes, it is a little bit different to job agencies. I haven't worked in one, but I've had a lot to do with them and worked with them in collaboration with them. So then, and definitely do follow up. If you say you're going to follow up, the worst thing you can do is not actually follow up. So if you're going to say I'm going to ring in a week, put it in your diary and ring in a week. Even if you just speak to admin, they'll say, oh yeah, Mira phoned. Good, she did what she said she would. She's obviously reliable. So you're constantly proving your employability skills. You're proving self-management, initiative, communication skills, reliability. You're proving all that just by turning up. There's 5 things they can tick off immediately. Now, I wanted to just say, if you're handing in a resume when you're doing it, you can also, just conscious of, you can also have an expression of interest letter. Now, I won't go into that in detail now because that's a whole nother topic. But an expression of interest letter is pretty much like a cover letter on top of a resume when you're handing it in, and it sort of basically kind of repeats what we just went through. Hi, this is who I am. This is the value, you know, that you could bring to that workplace and how you could do it. So you're sort of planting that seed. You know, I'd love the opportunity to, you know, speak with you again if you've already spoken with them, or I'd love the opportunity to speak with you to discuss it in further detail. So expression of interest letter is like a cover letter, but it doesn't have, there's no job advertised. So you're just planting the seed of you working for them. It's an expression of interest. So you've still got to sort of prove, I would have sort of narrow it down where you would fit into that organization for them. So that's not just, hi, I want a job. You know, it's, hi, I would like a job in sort of this area. This is my skills and strengths. This is what I bring. I'm you know, I've done one before, you know, sort of potentially in the this, that, or that type area. You know, you sort of plant the seed for them so they don't have to think. So you can certainly drop off an expression of interest letter attached to your resume while you're door knocking. I hope that helps for you for the self-marketing. That's just one way. That's the sort of the door knock, the go in, the cold canvassing, and let me know how you go. But certainly if you didn't see the video in the YouTube, the part 1, certainly do that, because that's your setup, and that's super important to be really effective when you get in there. Hi Anne, how you going? So see how you go. So it's practice your spiel before you go. Then when you go in, arrange to kind of meet to someone, to recruitment or the boss, however big, or someone in your sector. Then once you're in there, do your quick elevator pitch, your spiel, your 1-sentence spiel, and then link yourself to what they're offering, or find the gaps and link yourself to that. Then communication backwards and forwards. Certainly you'll want to follow it up. If they haven't made some sort of positive suggestion, you want to follow up. I'll check in a week if you don't mind. I'd like to give you my resume. So you've got it, or I'd love to email it, so it's electronic. So get the connection, get the detail, contact and name. And because it might be someone else you have to send it to, not them that you're speaking to. And then follow up. And you do that again and again and again and again. And I always say, start with the company you want the least. By the time you get to the one you really want to work for, it's like, blah, 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 you got the spiel going on. So I hope that helps. It's not as scary as we make it out to be. It really is just a conversation with a human. Worst case scenario, you don't get anything out of it. Best case scenario, you actually get a job offer. How good would that be? But this is 70% of jobs, so it's not uncommon for people to be doing this. This is a lot of jobs are on offer in this way. So certainly, you know, give it a try. Each company will be slightly different in how they respond. I think I might do another one when people... Oh, good. Thanks, Anne. Might be another video maybe to do when people sort of go no. Just how you can sort of work through that. Yes, the self-talk, the positive self-talk, and the spiel. Practice it so that it's just like boom, boom, boom. Less, because if you know something really well, when the nerves kick in, you'll be okay still to say it. And it's okay to be a bit nervous. It's better to be a bit nervous and do it than, you know, to not show that initiative at all. Hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next Buzz Chats. What that next topic might be, let me know if you've got any anything that you'd like me to discuss. Was there any questions in particular? But definitely, yes, the self-talk, practicing. Start on a company that's the furthest away, that you're least interested in working for. You can always say no. I've got another offer, thanks anyway, if you don't want to work there. My pleasure, Marie. I love helping people, so I'm happy to jump on. But let me know if there's something else you'd like me to talk about. Self-marketing was requested, so that's why I was doing this one. But let me know what you want the next one to be. All right, have a wonderful afternoon. I'm off to jump in my groups now, but yeah, have a wonderful night. And if you do this and it's successful, or even if it's not and you do it, let me know how you go. I'd love to see. Love to hear about it. Government jobs. There is procedures with some jobs, but it's certainly still, you would be able to have a go at making some sort of connection still, I would think. It may just be slightly different protocols, but it's still worth sort of coming in and saying hi to an organisation. And you know, all their jobs are advertised on Smart Jobs, but it's still worth trying to sort of connect and network. I know this the Sunshine Council, they run free information sessions, so sort of jumping into it that way, where they are delivering something and you can kind of connect if it's not the straight door knock. But still, it might be more, slightly different networking, but it would still be fantastic to be able to network, to know you've spoken to someone. You can drop names when you get in there. Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful night. Bye.